Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Conatra here. Welcome back to Formula One 2017, and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we are going to get ready to do a 50% race today. That's right, I remembered to change it before the race. A 50% race, but before we get there, we must listen to our voicemail and hear where we should qualify.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
I bet it's ninth. Hey, so it is. So it is. And we should do much better than that. But before we even make it to qualifying, I got some business to take care of on the old R&D tree. We have in the aerodynamics, we have the what was that one called? Barge boards. The barge boards, easy for me to say, is I think only 2 weeks away. But I have 1446 points. I could do one of these side ones, which are more 4-week adventures. I could get one of those going and have that staggered. So it would be in 2 weeks we'd have an upgrade, and then in 2 weeks we would have an upgrade. And those would both be major upgrades. So I could do that. And because of the current scenario that we're in, the only options we have in Aero are to do one of those two. So side pod for rear downforce, or front wing end plates for front downforce. I am going to try and get some rear downforce. I think that is what the area of the car I would like to work on the most at the moment. And I'm going to do it. It's a lot of points, and it's a long time. But like I said, having the staggered 2 weeks, then 2 weeks for two major upgrades is enticing. And look how close that puts our marker there. I'm like physically pointing at the screen. But yeah, it puts us very close into the area of your Mercedes, your Red Bull, and your Ferraris. So that'd be cool. So that's what I'm going to do. And it'd be ready for Canada. What a place to have that ready for. That would be pretty amazing if we could manage to do that. Cool. Well, let's go to qualifying one. Feeling pretty good. We don't think you'll have any problem.
Too hard in this session. We should have the pace to qualify easily.
I legitimately thought he wasn't going to say it this time. I was going to say it myself, but he did say it. And I do agree. This car was looking very, very good in practice. We're somewhere on a good lap. We're somewhere in the range of being, I think, intermixed with the Red Bulls, which is a pleasant place to be. Considering, let's go ahead and drive out. Considering we have two major upgrades en route for this car, Bahrain is a track that it's difficult. It's a very difficult track, but I think it's somewhere I can perform well if I can manage to not make too many mistakes. One of the interesting things about Bahrain is the fact that the sun sets in qualifying and in the race, and it typically takes me a minute or two to find my bearings around the track, especially in these sunset conditions, because the colors just all get very muted and blend together. Makes it difficult to find marks. Super encouraging thing in practice was the fact out of the 6 things you can get perfect scores to get the most resource points, I was able to get perfect in 5 of them, and that is significantly better than the norm. So that made me feel good. That was a good start to the day. And that helps us not just get resource points, it helps us move closer to getting the faster research done, like faster development. So that would be cool. That would be very cool. It's been kind of a sloppy lap here, but the car is quick enough that we could probably deal with a sloppy lap and move forward. I do want to keep some miles off the car because I feel like I may be having some reliability issues by the end of the weekend here. Depends on how the game handled our 100% races.
That That's P2.
8/10 behind
Second place.
Botas is pretty good. It's pretty good. I am not displeased with that, and it makes me encouraged because, like I said, that was a sloppy lap, and I feel like I can do much better. Especially once the sun sets, I feel better about the lighting because the track actually gets bright instead of everything being of the same color temperature. It's P6 for Q1, and we're actually ahead of the Red Bulls, and the Force Indias are the ones that are ahead of us as of right now. But that's just Q1. A lot can change as we move forward. Mazda's sitting there in 11th. Out we go for Q2. I believe it is now fully dark out. Or at least, yeah, much closer to fully dark out. Makes me feel a little bit better. But once it's fully dark, the actual groove, the rubbered in groove, or the unrubbered groove in Formula 1, it starts to really show itself and makes it easier to get a feel for the track. DRS. Really, the best thing about the mirrors is the fact that I can actually see if the wings open or not. Brakes. It's a very awkward turning point there. But luckily it's one of those ones that has a dozen different ways you can do it, and pretty much at the same time. I did give some consideration to trying softs for Q2. The thing that really stopped me from doing it was the fact that I found I was actually pretty easy on tires here, so I'm very comfortable for starting the race on the supers. So I didn't want to do anything too wild. This is the turn I've been trying to focus on working on the most. I swear, I don't know if it was last season or one before, I swear I've thrown away a race in that turn though. Ricardo's still sitting there in the 31s. I would say if I get this thing on an optimal lap, completely hooked up, a 30 is very much so in the cards, and this lap has been pretty darn sporty. I'm feeling good. Really got the turn-in feeling very good here. The nose actually responding to my inputs using a massive rear brake bias. Wow, that was a much slower lap than I expected.
You're into P3.
31.6.
P3 on the grid.
I guess it really is the case a lot of times that comfortable is slow, and that lap was very comfortable. So apparently, once we get to Q3, hopefully, I'm going to have to push this car a little bit harder. You know what? I think old Danny Boy done just had himself an amazing lap. P3 in Q2. Mazda getting knocked out severely. Severely? Where is he? 15th. Heavy sigh. I guess we're just not even gonna have to. We're just gonna have to completely ignore the manufacturer standings. Alright, well, on Q3, everybody in the top 10 did their runs on Super Softs. Verstappen didn't make it in because he attempted to do it on softs, so I'm glad I made that call now. I don't think going to softs would have been good. Must be a huge difference between the two. Going for the full Monty here. 3 laps of fuel, so basically a one flyer situation, because I think that's the only possible scenario here. So very little fuel. I'm going to try and push this car harder than I have pushed it yet. The lighting is now at a point that I'm very happy. I can see the groove on the track very well defined. A good exit here. Third gear, put the apex, and then just full throttle. That was nice. Get that DRS. Going overdrive turn 1. It's really the only way to lose time. To way overdrive turn 1. That little bit of lockup didn't hurt us too much. As much rear bias as I have, it's amazing that it's locking the fronts at all. Oh, that was a beautiful exit there. It actually hooked. This is one section I think I can improve on. This right-hander here. Oh, that was really nice. The back end didn't want to step out. This again feels really good, but I felt that before. That was nice. A little bit wide into there, just a bit.
We'll need to return to the pits within the next couple of laps.
Yeah. Well, we certainly closed on Hulkenberg here. I was hoping I was going to close enough to get a draft. That didn't quite happen. We were into 30s, though. I'm so excited I went in the grass. 30.6. I thought it was possible, and it definitely was. I'm going to look at the times. That might do it for me in Q3, so I can keep some laps off the car. Boy, Vettel down at a 30.1. I don't think I'm ever going to get into that territory. I was very happy with that lap.
1:30.6.
I'm looking at that right now, Jeff. I don't foresee Perez going that fast. I don't really see anybody but maybe Hamilton and maybe Bottas really coming up to challenge that. So I think I'm going to stick with it. Even if we drop down to 5th or 6th, I'm happy with that lap. I really just don't feel like there's a lot I can gain.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Vettel, Raikkonen and a Williams. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Join us today. That's surprising. I feel like Hamilton and Bottas really slowed down for Q3. Like, they were running 30s before. What happened? I don't entirely know, but I'm not upset. I am not upset. I don't think we have a podium car unless the strategy really falls our way. But I do think we have a top 5 car, and beating Bottas is really my main goal. So, let's continue. I'll give you a little update on the team standings and stuff. Alright, there's our resource points. Here's the rivalry update, which we are pretty much dominating at this point. 10 points ahead. And team standings, everybody's starting to scooch back up. Mercedes has actually been scooting back up. None of this really matters because we don't plan to do another season, but it's still interesting. And voicemail says, I'd say
Hello.
6th?
I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
All the way down to 7th. Wow. No faith. They just have no faith. You know what? The driver of the day, every driver in the field should get this session goal, and it should go off of who beats their session goal by the most, instead of just who improved the most positions in qualifying versus the race. That would probably be a more reliable system. Any message? You got nothing to tell me? I mean, we qualified 3rd. You could, you know, whatever. Okay. Nothing, no drama on the grid, no penalties or anything in the top dozen or so. They're calling for a 3-stop race. I absolutely don't want to do that, but that's what they're calling for. In 29 laps, we have 31 laps of fuel on board. That's nice. A couple extra laps of fuel. I really don't want to do that, though. I would much rather 2-stop if possible. But they're calling for just massive wear on the supers, which is true. This place is very bad on tire wear. They just don't seem to have any confidence there. I'm going to look at it anyway. So what if we instead did this on softs? They're not letting me because I only have 2. Okay. How do I fix? That on mediums. And I mean, there's a way. We figured out how to get rid of a stint, but hell if I remember how. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt to try and get it to do it. know. I don't know, guys. I think we might be stuck doing what they want to do. The only other way I could see it is to go to softs, which I would need to do here. Mediums, or softs first. Mediums later. And then I can remove this stint. But they would say that our mediums would be pretty much toast, our softs would be toast. It does say a negative projected race time, though. The mandatory tires are softs and mediums, or soft or the mediums. And we can do that. I'm just a big fan of 2 stops instead of 3 here. I'm a big fan of that. It'd be lap 7 on the supers, which is going to be nasty. Like, it's not going to be fun. But I really think that's the way I want to go. I'm going to do it. My own strategy. Suck it, Jeff. Alright, here we go. I'm not real happy about being on the left here. Decent getaway. I'd really like to get to the right, if possible. Someone to my left, making me very nervous. I think it was Ricardo. It's extremely close.
Signs of wear. Power output will be down.
I was expecting to get that message, maybe not this soon, but I was expecting to get it sometime in the race. That's why I wanted to do as few laps as I could. This race will boil down mostly to strategy, I think, as to where we finish, as long as I can continue to run decent laps. Ooh, I'll tell you what. I need to change the brake bias for the full fuel. The heavy rear bias works when there's not fuel in the back of the thing, but later in the run, no good. You know, those Ferraris are quick. I do think our car will come to life a bit further into the race. And I will come to life a little bit further into the race, as I've discussed my disgust for the sunset and the fact you can't see the groove in the track. It's very awkward. A little bit of a field spacing, like 3 separate groups right now. Gotta get used to all this fuel. Weighing me down. Seems like those two might want to race each other a bit up front of us, which would be nothing but good news for us. I do need to watch my tire wear to make it to lap 7. This feels like a track where there won't be safety cars at all. Unless something really weird happened. Just so much runoff. So many areas for cars to go. Then again, everybody's engines are feeling the strain after the first couple of races. Ooh, game hang up there. I think I may have traced that to something, but I forgot to do that something before starting this. Hopefully the issues aren't prominent. Raikkonen's fastest.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS.
Already passed. Wow. Interesting. Mirroring the real-life race of the weekend in Paul Ricard. Raikkonen was the one on the podium, thanks to Bit of a driving blunder from Vettel. Kind of overcooked turn 1 and got into Bottas. Got himself a penalty. It was a bit of, you know, over-exuberant driving, and that's a bummer that it ruined both of those races. However, it's a darn good thing that happened, because watching Vettel and Bottas come through the field was about the only way there was going to be something interesting happening at that track. That place is real bad. It's also gotta be the ugliest racetrack I've ever seen. I've never seen something so hard on the eyes in the form of a racetrack before. They've really knocked it out of the park there. Hamilton's gotten around Ricciardo. Perhaps they have a bit more race pace than qualifying pace. Wow, Raikkonen's out of here. I'm running second down on them a lot.
Is 8.4 seconds.
Yellow flag behind us. Any information on that?
Safety car,
Oh.
virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
I'm
Drop your
trying.
speed, our delta is too low and we'll
Alonso.
risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Boy, he did that on the front straight. I can't believe they weren't able to clear his car without a VSC. I also heard that they do this VSC much different in real life than we are experiencing, where, well,
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive
it's
delta
40%
until the green flags.
slower than race pace, basically. And they have times that they need to check in around the track. DRS back enabled, and we're green. So instead of that constant shifting race, that delta thing, it's more like, this is the mark you need to hit at this time. Which I guess is similar, but the way they were explaining it sounded a lot more simple than the way we have to follow the delta. Times are still alright, but we've still got a few laps to go here. This is one of those strategies it's different, but it's also, I think, not very aggressive. So we're not going to be, you know, jockeying for position via undercut and stuff like that. It's going to be more about trying to reduce our total race time as much as we can. That being aided by the fact that Hamilton's apparently racing cars still back there. And we're kind of in no man's land. At least on this fuel level, the car's feeling very oversteery. Especially mid-turn. Which is kind of a awkward and uncomfortable place to have oversteer. You know, corner entry, I can change the brake bias and fix that. Corner exit, I can change my throttle inputs and the differential, try and fix that. Mid-turn, kind of just got to deal with it until the car comes around. I think fuel weight-wise, F1 cars don't have weight jackers like Indy cars. At least not that I'm aware of. Time's looking.
Gap to car in front is 4.7 seconds.
Hamilton's still closing. I think if that group does close, it's again going to be a matter of how little time can I lose to them. I'm curious if they are actually going to go to supers again. Because if they do, we might be stuck in some traffic for a little while. Depending on the gaps of the field. I don't know if it's layout or what. This place just always feels so slippery. Or the fact, you know, it's in the desert. It's sandy. Very hot. I always just feel like I'm squirming around this place. These cars are definitely the best that I've ever driven in a Formula One game. Like, the amount of downforce they make, the amount of grip that they have, the mechanical grip is really, I think, what's insane. There's some turns here that were previously feathering the gas, that in this car, in these cars this season, is just flat to the floor.
Pit window now open for you.
Right, here we go. I think I'll be glad to get rid of these tires. They're so easily overheated. It's one of the things to remember about the different tire compounds is it's not necessarily just the I'll find the words, trust me. It's not just the softness or hardness of the tire, it's also the temperature range that they work in. And the softer the tire, the faster it's going to build heat, and sometimes the worse they work with heat. So it suffers from its own product. So I'm doing pretty well there. I'd like to stay around 100, but the rears are pretty constantly above that. But at least they're not into the teens. Well, they are there.
Pitting this lap.
We will be pitting this lap. Oh, Raikkonen already pit. Interesting. It's much too early there. And we may have some company. Vroom, vroom. Vettel's already gone. That's good. We didn't block him, but he didn't block us either.
Go. Exit now.
And we didn't get blocked on exit. Alright, everybody just went to softs. I think the whole field's probably on our same strategy
Okay,
there.
stay clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Hand animations, they're fun. They're very fun. As I kind of suspected, we are now right in the thick of the pack. But the pack is pretty spread out. So it's not too bad. I gotta get used to the tires. I gotta get tires up to temperature. Oh, actually, they're good. No dramas there. Some sneaky DRS use here. Oh, we didn't. Wow, I thought for sure I was close enough. Oh, I think we actually managed to sneak in between two groups of cars, and Hamilton and that group got stuck behind more. So that's good news. That will help us. This little draft right here is going to help us. Hopefully Van Doren's pitting. Raikkonen's on fire this race. He is. And we get DRS.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.7 seconds.
Doesn't get better than that. It's pretty much as optimal as it gets. So that's nice. We're gonna have some breathing room on Hamilton here for a minute. I bet it was a purple sector. It was the best you could possibly get. I got a little toe out of the turn, I got DRS all the way down the straightaway, and I didn't have to pass anybody. Hamilton's cleared of traffic. He'll be coming to visit us soon, without a doubt. Somebody's out there that hasn't pit yet, but I do think some people may have started on softs. To maybe do soft, medium.
The gap to the car behind is 2.9 seconds.
So we're going to be fighting, as of now, fighting for the podium, but
Felipe in the pits.
I think
Felipe
that's a
has
long
pitted.
shot at the moment. 34-2, running standard mix, that's not too shabby. Feels like Lassa might be up there in the points. If he's leaving the pits right now. That would be nice. Guessing he started mediums. That turn has such an awkward exit, thanks to the big runoff area next to it that kind of like hides, it shadows where the turn actually exits, and it's a decreasing radius. It's not Paul Ricard that. Where the drivers were having a lot of issues finding the track because there's so many different layouts there, and there's no grass, it's just a sea of asphalt and paint. I don't think I heard a single good thing about that track. Traffic was a nightmare. Drivers didn't like it. It doesn't seem exceptionally safe for a track to be so benign.
Our gap to
Plenty of
first
runoff,
place is
but
11.1 seconds.
there were certainly some places that looked maybe a little suspicious. It's got a very, very ugly pit out. And overall, pit road just looked a little not great. A lot of people calling for them to go back to Magna Core. Is that how you say that? Magna Cores? I don't remember. It's been a long time since F1's been there, and I've even heard that name, and I can't remember anymore how that's pronounced. I'm sure someone will correct me. Gee, I don't remember the track. And I don't know if it's even like F1 standard these days. Just take him to Le Mans. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing could go wrong. Perfect. Just a 3-mile long DRS zone, where the DRS probably won't do anything because the teams won't run any wing anyway. Alright, it's halfway through lap 1, and Lewis Hamilton has a 45-second lead.
Okay, distance to teammate, 12.3 seconds.
Don't care about that. Do care about the fact Hamilton's within sniffing distance of DRS. That I care about. That's a battle we're about to have. Trying really hard not to overdrive the car, because I know I gotta take these tires quite a ways as that curve hooks me. Yeah, he's here. He's here. he has a run there. Thought that might have been it. They painted the groove in the wrong spot for that turn. It's actually much wider than
Our gap to the
it
car in
looks.
front is 9.5 seconds.
Hi! How are you? I saw he wasn't making the move, so I kind of backed him up into that turn so I can get a decent exit. Don't think it's gonna matter. And he's gone.
The gap behind us is 6.5 seconds.
Considered it for a moment. I'd like to try and stick with him, but considering he was a second a lap faster all of a sudden, I don't think it's doable. Ooh, big front lock up there. Maybe it's time to start moving that bias back. For the DRS, though. Go ahead and do that now. Start fuel loads burning off. I think a big factor here is I believe he's running on rich mix. We are not. I do wish now I had put more fuel in the car. Happens back there on Super, so yeah, there's definitely a couple different strategies going on at the moment. So I need to remember when, or if he catches, not to really battle him too much. At the end of the day, we'll be making one less stop than him. Boys, for his action-packed and never-ending.
It is 1.8 seconds.
Yikes, as the first two races were. This one's going to play out much more like a modern F1 race, I think. Weird that the cars seem to really have a lot more one-lap pace than it's having race pace. That's the opposite of what I expected. It's kind of the nature of Formula One, though. It's the nature of racing in general. Not every race is going to be a barn burner.
Okay, the gap behind is 4.9 seconds.
It won't be a concern. At least not anytime soon. That pit stop's not going to be in terribly long. Yeah, lap 18. I think a big factor here is actually that we're down on power. Maybe it was able to overcome that with the qualifying mix, higher fuel level, but without it, and not being able to run rich mix in the race, the fact that we're down on power is really showing its face. Then again, we're also in a Williams that has not been upgraded to the point where we need it. So maybe I should just quit bitching about being in 4th place. Just always want more. More. Must do better.
Some information on Ocon. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
That's a real bummer. Did his wheel fall off? I bet you his wheel fell off. What the hell was with that? I don't know what they had going on there
We're approaching
in
the pit
France.
window. You'll be on mediums.
His wheel kept falling off.
Our gap to our teammate is 11.
Haven't they had multiple issues with that this season? Or was that another team? I just can't imagine what would cause that. That is good. Because I think the Force Indias
Front is 3.4 seconds.
are a team that we can try to compete with in a manufacturer as a solo driver team. Depending on how things go. I think I'm overdriving all of a sudden. These tires are starting to really give up. Yeah, they're getting there. I think I'm trying to drive into the turns too fast, considering we're trying to make up for the lack of speed out of the turns. Somebody asked me if it was, if it had to be one or the other, which one would I have wanted to do the second 100% race at, China or here? And I said China because
Vettel's taken the lead.
I just prefer that track. However, if I had known that this race would go like this, I would probably choose this one. Because this is much more relaxing. That China race, that, although it was an amazing race and, oh, shit, an amazing experience, I'm pretty sure it took some years off my life. Oh, wow. These tires just got super unhappy. I did not suspect that would be the case. And I'm not happy about Perez being behind me right now with that situation unfolding. They're not that bad wear-wise. I don't know why they've gone off so badly. Like, even the fronts don't feel great, and they're only at 31%? It's just the overall balance. Makes me a bit nervous about the long run we're going to have on the mediums. Boy, they're both pitting now.
Pit window is open. The pit window is open.
And they're coming out on mediums. Well, Hamilton's going to undercut the hell out of us then. Oh, wow. Thanks, lag. Appreciate that. Right in the middle of turn one. Look at us. We're leading the race. I'll just never pit again. Let's take these tires to the end. We'll be fine. We won't be fine. That would be awful. That would be really, really awful. Yeah, I think I could have pit last lap and been fine. See, now I gotta get it into my head, like, the distance of these races is now significantly shorter, and when I do some 25s, that'll really mess with me. Thinking of, you know, the rest of the race after the stop being so long, but really it's not. Not very long at all.
Okay, remember to pit this lap.
Please. I'm worried we're gonna lose a spot from undercut. We're gonna get cut. Slam it in there.
Some information on Vettel. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Interesting. Just said slowing down. He didn't say mechanical issue.
You'll be racing as you leave the pits.
Look at Massa ahead of us in third. He's still got a pit, but look at him.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled
If
pit
Vettel had an
stops.
actual problem... Boy, that was an awful pit exit dump that it just did to us there. Like, really, really bad. We're just going way too fast to slow down for turn 1 by the time it gave me control. So yeah, we did get undercut at the end of the day. Well, screw whatever I was saying before. The good news is, since we're gonna end this race in mediums, and it's only 10 laps, I can push these things as hard as I desire. Oh, I closed it again. Open, close, open, close. Just waving my durs. Don't mind me. Alright, well, we got a race on our hands now. Perez went in for more softs.
Fuel target is +1.
I considered, but I didn't think it was feasible for as much wear as we had on those softs.
Felipe's pitting now. Felipe is in the pits. Some information on Ocon. They seem to have an issue.
Didn't you already say that? Did another wheel fall off?
The gap to teammate is 9.8 seconds.
Guys, taking the fight to us here. It's going to be a battle for fourth. He left that outside open. And I'm taking it. He left it too open.
Okay, gap ahead is 9.7 seconds.
That was his mistake. I figured the outside of that turn was the preferred line. I don't know why you didn't try to block that. I guess you tried to block an inside attack. Use a little fuel here, try and get away. I said at some point our battle would be amongst the Red Bulls and the Force Indias. And I guess I was right in that regard. I don't think I really pinned Perez to be up here battling with us, but he's done a different strategy and he's on a better tire. I gotta hold him long enough that his tires will wear. The good news is he got very log jammed in to that pack behind us. Oh yeah, they're still scrapping. I'm very glad that I was able to not do 100% race today, because the conditions are very, very poor. Oh man. We are experiencing quite a heat wave with like actual heat warnings, heat index warnings and such. And this is the first time this summer really that the sun's just been out all day. And I bet you the ambient temperature here in the car today is somewhere in the high 80 degrees Fahrenheit. man, he is really fast in those mediums. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do much here. Try and pass him back. Once his tires get bad. Oh, hi, Botas. Where did you come from? No. Fudge. That's what I was worried about here. It's just like the rear end of the car. It's not under it. That's why I really wanted that rear downforce upgrade. I feel like in medium speed turns, it just does not have the back end of the car underneath of it. And now that we have, harder tires on here, it's just making that problem even worse. Perez is going to check out. In fact, they might all check out, because I don't feel too sporty at the moment. Both in real life and on the car. I tried to say that. It just snapped around too fast. Too furious. Well, now I understand why the team had no faith in me this weekend. Finishing 7th is all they wanted. Focus mode has been very much so enabled. Tell by the purple delta, probably. I will now try to drive the tires right off of this thing. Which doesn't work here, Cone. You know that it doesn't work here. Oh well. P7 it is today. The highs and lows of Formula One. We had a one-lap wonder car this weekend, and I don't know.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.5.
I don't really know why. I don't know what determined why it just didn't have enough speed, unless it's just that the motor doesn't have enough in it. We got 3 components showing yellow wear. That's probably a factor. And then I just overdrove the piss out of it trying to
Gap to leader, 32.2 seconds.
overcome that.
So the gap to our teammate is 5.8 seconds.
That's the only silver lining, is at least Massa's in 8th. Hopefully he stays there and we can scrap some team points today. If I hadn't overcooked that acute right turn, if I can borrow a rally term, I think we had still the ability to get up to 5th, but I think that pretty much sealed the deal for us there. Depends if they get into a fight or not. That's just not a turn where I can make up time. Verstappen's kind of fallen back from them. It's not impossible we could try to get 6th back. The car is still very skaty. I feel like every turn I'm turning the wheel the opposite way, mid-turn.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Brad's made a very good call there. I wish I had done the same now. Try to make softs work at the end. Just wasn't something I considered. was a mistake. I do think I would have burnt them pretty badly, but on the first few laps it would have been magical. We probably would have driven away from this back instead of being stuck with them. So this track will continue to be on my list of ones with a thorn in my side. And a lot of good runs here that I've seemingly thrown away in the past. Use our fuel wisely here. See if we can mount any kind of charge. So personal best, so that's about it. We'd need to close a second this lap or so. We're not going to do it doing that. Yeah, the car just doesn't have enough grip in it to do that. Oh, he's on pit road. Vettel? Wait, what? What is going on? Oh, Vettel has an actual major problem, I guess. Interesting. That's interesting, so maybe we can scrap 6th out of this. After all, depending on just how slow he is. He's not terribly slow. Boy, he's falling a ways down the field. He's got DRS right now, which is probably making up for whatever he has going wrong. Not a lot of time left. Yeah, all of a sudden he's keeping up.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
It's a bummer. Just cannot get it to turn. That's a terrible place to have that happen. Looking more and more like P7 is the place. Tires aren't even that worn, it just doesn't seem like it's in the track at all. They are really going at it. Which is very true to life, I guess. Rejuvenated me a little bit. I feel like I can maybe still do something. I see them. Just need them to keep trying to trade positions back and forth. Try not to screw up that last turn. I just have to slow down a lot more than I was previously. There we go. He's out of DRS passing zone, isn't he? No, he's still closing. I need them to go at it.
8 seconds.
We are.
We advise moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
They're giving me every opportunity I need, and I'm not doing well at taking advantage of those opportunities. I'm trying. That didn't help. Video game. Don't have the car under me. Maybe the car just doesn't work well in these mediums or something. Vettel certainly, they probably fixed, maybe had a gearbox issue or something that they fixed. He is up to speed again.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, finally. This race was more exhausting than the 100% one. Yeah, my answer is definitely China for the 100% race. Definitely China. This would have been brutal. Sector. Yeah, right. It's the middle sector where I'm losing so much speed. I think he's about to get DRS from a lapped car too. You can see his wing open. Oh, we run out of fuel. May literally run out of fuel. Yeah, it'll be fine. It does the herky jerks for a bit. Yep.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
I'm not pleased. Oh, man. That's the nature of the series. We take the good and the bad here.
That might not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question it was a critical win.
Sure,
Here
sure.
come our winning drivers then, out
Oh,
onto the podium
Perez.
at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's
That's not good
it's
for
time
us.
to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship.
Probably not
it's
good.
a good result for Kimi Raikkonen, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship.
Time
And
to
now
vote to
I'd
us.
like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, I have to give it to Kimi Raikkonen.
Well, yeah,
Consistency,
okay.
good battle, sensible driving. He can be pleased with that performance today.
On to the constructors then.
Ooh.
Ferrari extend their lead.
Force
at the
India
top
battle's
of the
gonna be real.
championship. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they
You
make
think?
their way up the standings. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
I hope you enjoyed. I know that was probably a frustrating one to watch, but that's the nature of racing. It looked so promising from the start, but I don't think the strategy and the car worked well together, and I don't think me and the strategy worked well together. I just didn't seem to ever really have a handle on the car once we went to the harder compounds. That was the defining factor. That big slide is what really did it for me. I'm happy I didn't wreck the car there, because it was close, but it was still definitely the defining factor of the race. We managed a 7th place finish, we get points, we can move on to the next one, and try again. Try again. Ready for those upgrades. Definitely ready for those car upgrades. Alright everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.